My name is Walter Gibson. I'm 108 years old. I was born in 1916. I have saved money every single day for 80 years. Every single day. I accumulated $847,000 over 8 decades of sacrifice. 8 decades of going without. 8 decades of trusting the system. 6 months ago I had almost $1 million. Today I have $23,000. The banks took everything. Legally, systematically, deliberately. And they're doing it to you right now. While you sleep. While you work. While you trust them with your life savings. I'm going to tell you exactly how they steal everything and how you can protect yourself before it's too late. Yesterday, my grandson David visited me. He's 35 years old, works in finance, makes good money, saves responsibly. "Grandpa Walt," he said, "I heard what happened to you, but that was just bad luck, right? Banks don't actually steal money." I looked at this intelligent young man and realized he believes the same lies I believed for 80 years. "David," I said, "banks don't rob you at gunpoint. They rob you with fine print, with fees, with policies, with systems designed to transfer your wealth to them." "That's conspiracy talk, Grandpa." "No, son, that's math. Let me show you the math that destroyed my life savings." I was 9 years old. My father died in a factory accident. My mother was left with 4 children and no money. I watched her cry every night over unpaid bills, watched her choose between food and rent, watched poverty destroy our family. "Walter," she said, "promise me something. Save every penny you can. Never trust anyone with your money. Never depend on anyone else." I promised. From age 9, I saved money. Every penny I found, every nickel I earned, every dollar I could spare. The Great Depression hit when I was 13. Banks failed everywhere. People lost their life savings overnight, but I kept saving. In coffee cans, under mattresses, in secret hiding places. Because I learned the first rule of wealth: never trust banks completely. I was 19, got my first real job, factory work, $12 a week. I saved $8 every week, lived on $4. People thought I was crazy. "Walter, you're young, enjoy life, spend your money." But I remembered my mother's tears. I remembered poverty's terror. I saved. World War II. I was 26, enlisted in the army, sent most of my army pay home, saved in war bonds, government-backed, safe as houses, they said. I trusted the system for the first time. War ended. I came home with $3,000 in savings, a fortune in those days. Bought a small house, married Betty, got a job at the steel mill, started the routine that would define my life for the next 60 years. Work, save, repeat. Every week I deposited money in the bank. Every month I bought savings bonds. Every year I watched my balance grow. But I also watched the banks change. 1950s, banks started charging fees. Service charges, they called them. "Mr. Gibson, this is just a small fee to maintain your account." $2 a month didn't seem like much, but $2 a month for 10 years is $240. For someone making $50 a week, that was significant. I complained. They said everyone pays fees now. Cost of doing business. The first lesson in how banks steal: they normalize theft with language. 1960s. Interest rates were good, 4 to 5% on savings accounts. My money was growing. I was building wealth. But I noticed something else growing. Banking regulations were disappearing. Banks were merging, getting bigger, more powerful. Competition was disappearing. The second lesson in how banks steal: they eliminate competition, then raise prices. 1970s. Inflation hit. My savings lost purchasing power. The bank offered new products. Money market accounts, certificates of deposit, investment products. "Mr. Gibson, These will protect you from inflation. I moved money into these products. Higher interest rates, more complex terms. That's when the fine print started multiplying. The third lesson in how banks steal, they use complexity to hide costs. 1980s, banking deregulation. Competition will benefit consumers, politicians said, but competition didn't increase. Consolidation accelerated. My local bank was bought by a regional bank, then by a national bank, then by a mega bank. Each merger brought new fees, new policies, new ways to extract money from customers. The fourth lesson in how banks steal, they use deregulation to consolidate power. 1990s, ATM fees appeared. Convenience charges. I had to pay my own bank to access my own money. Mr. Gibson, ATMs cost money to maintain. But I noticed something. The human tellers were disappearing. Banks were saving labor costs while charging customers more. The fifth lesson in how banks steal, they charge you for their cost savings. 2000s, overdraft fees exploded. Banks started reordering transactions, largest to smallest, to maximize overdraft fees. They'd process a $500 withdrawal before 5 $20 purchases, even if the $20 purchases came first. Result, 5 overdraft fees instead of 1. Computer error, they claimed when caught. The sixth lesson in how banks steal, they manipulate transaction order to maximize fees. Financial crisis. Banks nearly collapsed. Government bailed them out. Taxpayers paid trillions to save the banking system. Banks used that money to pay executive bonuses. Then they tightened lending to the same taxpayers who saved them. The seventh lesson in how banks steal, they socialize losses and privatize profits. By 2010, I was 94 years old. I had saved for 75 years. My account balance, $743,000. Not from high returns, from discipline, from sacrifice, from living below my means for 8 decades. Betty had died in 2005. I was alone but financially secure, or so I thought. I developed heart problems, needed surgery, extended hospital stays. The bank offered helpful advice. Mr. Gibson, you should consider our wealth management services. We can help your money work harder for you. I was old, tired, scared of medical expenses. I signed papers I should have read more carefully. The eighth lesson in how banks steal, they target vulnerable moments. The wealth management advisor was charming, professional, trustworthy. Mr. Gibson, we'll put your money in safe investments, government bonds, blue chip stocks, very conservative. I trusted him. He was the expert. Over the next few years, my account grew to $847,000. I felt validated, smart, financially successful. I had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. I was 106 years old, starting to have memory issues. David, my grandson, offered to help manage my finances. Grandpa, let me look at your statements, make sure everything's in order. That's when we discovered the truth. My wealth management account had hidden fees everywhere. Management fees, 2% annually. On my $800,000 balance, that was $16,000 per year. Transaction fees, $25 for every buy or sell order. They were trading frequently. Performance fees, 20% of any gains above a benchmark. Administrative fees, $250 per quarter for account maintenance. Wire fees, $50 for any money transfers. Inactivity fees, $100 per month if they didn't trade enough. Over 7 years, I'd paid over $200,000 in fees, but that was just the beginning. The investments themselves were a scam. They'd put my money in the bank's own products, funds managed by the same bank. These funds had their own fees, expense ratios, hidden costs. The bank was charging me fees to invest in their products, which charged me more fees, double dipping, triple dipping. The ninth lesson in how banks steal: they create layers of fees to hide the total cost. But the worst was yet to come. January 2023. The advisor called. "Mr. Gibson, we need to discuss your portfolio. Market conditions have changed. We recommend shifting to higher yield investments to protect against inflation." I was 107 years old, dealing with cognitive decline. I trusted his expertise. He moved my money into complex investment products, structured notes, reverse convertible bonds, principal protected funds, names designed to sound safe but hide risk. Within 60 days, these investments started losing value. Market volatility, the advisor explained, temporary setback. But the losses accelerated. By April, I'd lost $200,000. "Don't worry, Mr. Gibson. These are long-term investments." By June, another $300,000 was gone. Market correction happens to everyone. By August, I'd lost $600,000 in 6 months. That's when David demanded to see all the paperwork. That's when we discovered the truth about those safe investments. They were basically bets, gambling disguised as investing. If certain market conditions occurred, I'd lose everything. Those conditions had occurred. But here's the kicker. The bank was betting against me. They'd sold me investments designed to fail, while they profited from the failure. The 10th lesson in how banks steal: they bet against their own customers. The principal protection was fake. The funds could lose 100% of their value under certain conditions. The fine print specified these conditions in language no normal person could understand. 200-page contracts with crucial information buried in footnote 47 of Appendix C. David, who works in finance, couldn't fully understand the terms. How was a 107-year-old supposed to comprehend it? We tried to get my money back, hired lawyers, filed complaints. The bank's response: Mr. Gibson signed all the appropriate disclosures. He assumed the risks. They had my signature on documents I couldn't understand, agreeing to terms I couldn't comprehend, accepting risks I wasn't told about. All legal, all documented, all theft. The 11th lesson in how banks steal: they use legal complexity to legitimize theft. Today, I have $23,000 left, 80 years of saving, gone in 6 months. I'm 108 years old, living in a nursing home, dependent on Medicaid, the American dream, destroyed by American banks. But here's what enrages me most: I'm not alone. David researched my advisor's other clients, same pattern everywhere. Elderly people with life savings, complex products, hidden fees, devastating losses, millions of seniors robbed legally by the banking system. Their life's work transferred to bank shareholders and executive bonuses. The 12th lesson in how banks steal: they systematically target the vulnerable. You want to know how to protect yourself? First, never trust anyone completely with your money, ever. I trusted the system for 80 years. It destroyed me. Keep some money where only you can access it: physical cash, precious metals, assets banks can't touch. Second, read every document, every word. Get independent legal advice. If you can't understand something, don't sign it. If someone pressures you to sign quickly, walk away. Legitimate investments don't require instant decisions. Third, avoid complex financial products completely. If a banker can't explain an investment in simple terms, it's designed to confuse you. Stick to basic savings accounts, simple bonds, index funds you understand. Complexity is the enemy of wealth preservation. Fourth, never give anyone complete control of your finances, no matter how trustworthy they seem, no matter what credentials they have, no matter how much you trust them. Keep control, keep oversight, keep questioning. Fifth, understand that banks are not your friends. They are businesses. Their goal is profit, not your financial security. Every product they sell, every service they offer, every recommendation they make, it's designed to benefit them first. You are not their customer. You are their product. Sixth, diversify everything. Banks, investments, storage locations. Don't put all your money in one institution. Don't put all your trust in one system. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially if banks control the basket. Seventh, stay educated. Question everything. Trust but verify. Just because something is legal doesn't make it ethical. Just because someone is licensed doesn't make them trustworthy. Just because a product is marketed as safe doesn't make it secure. Eighth, have an advocate. Someone younger, sharper, more suspicious than you. As you age, you become a target. Your judgment may decline, but your bank balance makes you valuable prey. Have someone who can spot scams, read contracts, ask hard questions. Someone the banks can't manipulate as easily. Ninth, document everything, keep records, save communications. Banks count on your poor memory and missing documents. Write down what they tell you. Keep copies of everything. Record phone calls if legal. Make them prove their promises in writing. 10th, remember that banks profit from your ignorance. The more you don't know, the more they can take. Educate yourself about fees, risks, alternatives. Knowledge is your only protection in a system designed to exploit you. Last month, David took me to see my old house, the one I bought in 1945 with my war savings. New owners have renovated it beautifully, worth probably $300,000 now. I sold it in 2015 to move to assisted living. Put the proceeds into my wealth management account. That money is gone now too. If I'd kept the house, I'd still have a $300,000 asset. Instead, I trusted the banks with my money. Another mistake in a lifetime of trusting the wrong system. As we drove home, David asked, "Grandpa, do you regret saving all those years?" I thought for a long time. "No," I finally said. "I regret trusting banks with what I saved. Saving is still important. Sacrifice is still necessary. Financial discipline is still crucial. But the system that was supposed to protect savers has become a system that exploits them. Banks used to serve customers. Now customers serve banks. I saved for 80 years and banks stole it in 6 months. Don't let them steal yours. I'm 108 years old. I should be dead soon. When I die, I want my life to be a warning, not just a tragedy. I want my story to save someone else's money. I want my loss to be your protection. The banks are counting on your trust, your ignorance, your vulnerability. Don't give them what they want. Fight back. Stay alert. Protect yourself, because no one else will.